The most dangerous goodbye is not the one filled with anger, shouting, or tears. The most dangerous goodbye is the one that comes with a smile. Because the person who leaves in anger still has emotions left inside them, but the person who leaves peacefully has already disconnected emotionally long before they walked away. And once you understand the psychology behind this, you will never look at relationships the same way again. So stay with me till the end, because today's lesson might explain why some people always come back, while others disappear forever without making any noise. Have you ever experienced this in your own life? Maybe someone got angry, blocked you, said hurtful things, and walked away dramatically. You thought it was over forever, but after some time, maybe days, weeks, or even months later, they came back again. Maybe they texted you late at night. Maybe they checked your social media stories. Maybe they tried to reconnect like nothing happened. This happens more often than people realize, and psychology has a very interesting explanation for it. When a person leaves in anger, it usually means their emotions are still active. Anger is actually a strong emotional attachment. People don't get deeply angry about things they truly no longer care about. In many situations, anger is proof that feelings still exist inside the heart. Psychologists say that anger and love are closer to each other than most people think. Both come from emotional investment. When someone feels hurt, ignored, betrayed, or misunderstood, their emotions become intense. That intensity creates reactions. That is why people shout, cry, blame, or say things they later regret. But the important thing is this: emotionally, they are still connected. Their mind keeps replaying memories. Their heart keeps searching for answers. Even after leaving, part of them remains attached to the relationship. And because of that emotional attachment, many angry people eventually return once their emotions calm down. But now let's talk about the other type of goodbye. The quiet goodbye, the smile, the calm voice, the peaceful ending with no drama. This kind of goodbye feels soft on the surface, but psychologically, it is often much more serious. Because when someone leaves with complete calmness, it usually means they already accepted the ending emotionally long before the actual goodbye happened. While the other person was still arguing, defending themselves, or ignoring problems, the quiet person was slowly detaching inside. Day by day, little by little, they were losing emotional connection silently. This is why peaceful goodbyes are often permanent. The person already cried in private. They already spent nights thinking deeply. They already imagined life without you. They already tried giving second chances in their mind many times before physically leaving. And by the time they finally walk away with a smile, their heart has already made peace with the loss. That smile is not always happiness. Sometimes it is emotional closure. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking silence means everything is okay. But psychology tells us something different. In many relationships, people complain first because they care. They argue because they still want things to improve. They become emotional because they still have hope. But when hope slowly dies, silence begins. And silence is dangerous because it often means the person no longer believes anything will change. Think about a phone battery. Before it dies completely, it gives warnings. The battery percentage drops slowly. But if you ignore the warnings long enough, eventually the phone shuts down entirely. Human emotions work the same way. Complaints are warnings. Arguments are warnings. Emotional reactions are warnings. But when someone suddenly becomes emotionally quiet, cold, and distant, it may mean the emotional battery has already reached zero. This happens in friendships too. Sometimes a friend gets angry and stops talking to you for some time, but later returns because the friendship still matters emotionally. But there are other friends who slowly disappear without any conflict. No argument. No explanation. Just less effort, shorter replies, and emotional distance until one day they are completely gone. The scary part is that many people don't notice the ending while it is happening. They only realize it when the person is already emotionally far away. The same psychology even exists inside families. Sometimes family members fight loudly because emotions are still alive. But when someone becomes emotionally exhausted for years, they stop reacting completely. They stop explaining their pain because they no longer expect understanding. Instead of fighting, they emotionally disconnect to protect their inner peace. Psychologists call this emotional detachment. Emotional detachment usually doesn't happen overnight. It is built slowly through repeated disappointment, repeated hurt, repeated disrespect, or feeling emotionally unimportant for too long. Most people do not leave because of one single big mistake. They leave because small, painful moments keep accumulating inside them until one day their heart becomes too tired to continue. Imagine carrying a heavy bag every single day. At first, the weight feels manageable, but over time, your shoulders become tired. Your body becomes weak. Eventually, even one extra small weight feels unbearable. Relationships are similar. Small emotional pains may seem unimportant in the moment, but over time, they become emotionally exhausting. This is why emotional attention matters so much. Sometimes people only focus on big romantic gestures while ignoring small emotional needs. But often, relationships survive because of small consistent care, listening carefully, respecting feelings, giving time, showing appreciation, making someone feel emotionally safe. These small things build emotional connection stronger than dramatic promises ever can. And here is the painful truth many people learn too late. When someone reaches the stage where they can smile while leaving, convincing them to stay becomes extremely difficult. Because their decision was not emotional and impulsive like anger. It was thoughtful, quiet, processed deeply over time. They already accepted the pain internally before leaving externally. That is why you should never ignore emotional distance just because there is no conflict. Sometimes people stop arguing because they stop believing the relationship can improve. Sometimes silence is not peace. Sometimes silence is surrender. At the same time, this lesson is not meant to create fear. It is meant to create awareness. Healthy relationships are still possible when both people communicate honestly and care about each other emotionally. The key is paying attention before emotional detachment becomes permanent. Listen when people express pain. Notice changes in behavior. Appreciate people while they still emotionally show up for you. And if someone already left peacefully from your life, don't destroy yourself chasing endlessly for the old connection. Instead, learn from the experience. Grow emotionally. Understand what the relationship taught you. Sometimes losing someone becomes the lesson that helps you become better in future relationships. Because at the end of the day, human psychology is simple. People stay where they feel emotionally valued. And they slowly leave places where they feel emotionally invisible. If this lesson connected with your heart or made you think deeply about someone in your life, then subscribe to Sticky Lesson for more powerful psychology lessons and life-changing videos. Like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear this message, and comment below, which goodbye hurts more, anger or silence. And always remember this. The person who leaves in anger may still return because emotions are still alive. But the person who leaves with peace and a smile has usually already said goodbye inside their heart long ago.